Hi, brothers and sisters. Just wanted to show you a couple of examples here. For those of you that are those that plan to create an infographic, I wanted to show you just a couple of good and better examples and why I think they might be good. This one is just really good because it's just well designed. It's informative, nice font. Of course, that little font goes over that font, but pictures, informative. Good. It's just good, and she just really put a lot of work into it. I like this one. It's a little too busy, but one thing I do like about it is that it's very, very informative, how it talks about all these different women in the Bible. I wish perhaps though it would have put right here under Nabal's wife in the Old Testament and maybe put the scripture reference so I could look it up. And yeah, so that's just good. This one is a timeline. Well done. She put a lot of work into this. One thing, I probably would have made this font a little bigger, but I like that she put, Jochebed puts Moses in the basket, tells me what Exodus 2:3 is saying. So I like that there's scripture that I can go and look things up. This one right here is on, I think it's on Proverbs 31 that's talking about a virtuous woman, or it could be focusing on Ruth, but I like how she put the scripture references, she put the scripture reference there, and then the phrase that went along with it. And so at a glance, I can see all these different scriptures, and plus she put a good scripture down there. So, and it's got a nice design. It just all looks, it's informative, it's interesting, nice design. I'll go to the next one. This one is a timeline, goes from top to bottom, and interesting, perhaps maybe a scripture reference on Adam and Eve in the garden. But I like how the person, it's informative, it's interesting, well balanced. Now this one here, I want to show an example, a little too simple. The word light in the Old Testament is 177 times. I think that's cool, but I need more information. So I would say this is too simple. Go to a next one. That one's cute. Word of wisdom and fruit and vegetables. Too simple. It's not teaching me anything. It's, yeah. So this one here, a lot of work the student put into it to give us a timeline. And they got scripture references, they got pictures, they got little flow arrows to show us this is a kind of timeline, a nice title up there, well done. This one, I liked where they were going, but I felt like they just stopped. There's not enough information here. There's no scripture references. It's a nice graphic, but again, it's just too simple, just too... I would have put more into it. It just seems like you could have easily got that out of the headings of a chapter in the Institute Manual on Marriage. And so yeah, this one here, I like it, but I would like to have more scripture references than that. But there are quotes of general authorities, or at least some of them, at least this general authority. I think maybe I would have put a few more women on here. And this one's cute, but there's no scripture references. I know Alma 32. I know that swell and large and light and delicious are words from Alma 32, but someone who doesn't know that wouldn't, yeah. So scripture references, I like this one. They don't, oh, let me go back. Oops, let's try that again. This one doesn't have scripture references, but this person put a lot of work in this. You can see that the names of Jesus Christ, they categorized or classified all the names. For example, names that represent royalty, they put them all here. Perhaps a small reference, I don't know, might have made it too busy, but I do like what they did. Very nice, very informative, plus design is nice. Picture of Jesus in the back, and so well done. This one is, I like where they were going, but I felt like it was just a little too simple. Moroni 10:4, one verse, sincere heart, real intent, faith in God. It just seems like they could have maybe give us more information about that scripture. What if maybe what general authorities have said about it, or how many times is it quoted in general conference, or just something else. It just seems too simple. And this one's really cute and fun, and I love Mufasa, but it just seems a little too cutesy. No scripture there's scripture references, but no scripture phrases. And of course, this one, they did their homework, I think. I like it, like it, like it. No scripture references on this except down at the bottom, Alma 53. So I like it, but I think it could be a little more academic, a little more. This one here breaks up the Sermon on the Mount into classifies concepts into categories. There's, like, for example, 18 references related to money and finance. That's very interesting. That would have taken a lot of work to create that. So though they don't have scripture references, they did do a lot of work. So I guess that's one of the things I'm looking for, is that did you pay the price? Did you put some effort into it? Again, I'm not so concerned about design. And so, yeah, I like this one. And class one, to show you here, and I learned 2 resources that are important to look at. If you go up here into infographic project, option A, click on instructions, which I've done. You can see I teach you a little bit of this is kind of an overview of the infographic, and I break the assignment into tasks. Here's some resources, for example, how to use easel.ly. Here's how to create a word cloud in Wordle if you want to insert that into your infographic. Here's how to clip images in Microsoft, how to clip images in Apple. And again, this is more for when you start to actually create the digital part of your infographic. So let me just go up here. Let's go down to Midterm Sketch. This folder is the one you need to be concerned about. If you go into Midterm Sketch, I tell you what I'm looking for what you will turn in. It says 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. This is what I want on the paper. Here's how you research. Decide on a concept. What is something you feel passionate about? And then I say step 2. This is where you start to do your research. Here's some resources. And then step 3, go to easel.ly and create a kind of visual metaphor. They have all kinds of templates like this one. And these are some templates. And then right here, this is where I talk about this sketch, and I tell you what I'm looking for specifically. These are not scriptural sketches, but they are still good sketches. They're from the secular world, but they're really good because they give you an idea of what the person's planning to create before they start to make it digitally, because once you make it digitally, it's a little bit more difficult to alter. Plus, this is what I want you to turn in. I want to look at. I want to see if there's any suggestions I can give. So have fun with this. Don't stress too much. I don't focus too much on content and design. I'm sorry. I do focus on content, not so much on design. But make it look nice as you can. Have fun, though. Enjoy. And call me if you have any problems. Hope that helps.